Good evening, everyone, and welcome. It is Friday night. It is 7 p.m. That can only mean one thing. It's time for our weekly 1 hour live stream. And coincidentally, Kidd and Buffalo Naval Park are both premiering videos right now at the same time I'm live. So go watch their videos as soon as we're done here. Let's see who we've got in the chat this week. We've got Steve, we've got Max, we've got Mark, we've got Aaron, we've got Karen. Welcome, everyone. So, on the shelf this week are 3 ships I have seen in person in the past few days. Kidd up top, the big U in the middle, and the drum. Certainly, last but certainly not least. So, guys, what I'm going to do this week is I am going to spend this week telling you about the road trip I took. As the title suggests, I saw 7 historic ships in 5 days. I saw a whole lot more ships than just 7, but 7 historic. I'm only counting the historic ones. So, without further ado, we're just going to go ahead and get right into things. So, is when the road trip began, and I took off towards Galveston. You guys know there's a few ships over there in Galveston. And let me bring up how we're going to get started here. Let's see. All right, so here we go. What you're looking at here is the Galveston ferry heading towards Galveston. So, I obviously took the ferry. And one thing I will say about Galveston, I've been to Galveston twice now, and both times you kind of see what kind of weather I get. The first time I went, it was rain and cold and wind, and this time it was just cold and wind. I can't seem to catch a break when I go to Galveston. I mean, it was still a great trip, but the problem I had was with it being as windy as it was, can't fly the drone in that type of weather. So no drone footage. Once again, coming away from Galveston with no drone footage. Not a big fan of that. But anyway, you get off the interstate in Winnie, Texas. That would be I-10 West, and it's about 40, 45 miles, something like that, from Winnie to where you board the Galveston ferry. And once you get on the ferry, it goes actually rather quick. And you can see, zoom in here, this is one of the other ferries, because there are multiple ferries. It's not just one boat. And they are running continuous. In fact, when I stopped at the Texas rest stop, getting out of Louisiana, I asked one of the workers there, it's like, is the Galveston ferry closed because of this weather here? And they're like, no, definitely not. The ferry pretty much only closes in hurricane type weather, which, the weather wasn't great, but it certainly wasn't anything near hurricane strength. So, goodness. So here we're getting closer to Galveston. This is like the main channel over here that you see. And off in the distance is the Galveston Naval Museum. You can see the mast for the Stewart right here. And zoom in a little bit more, and you can see them both a lot better. There's Stewart right there, and there's Cavalla right there. Aaron, I know you're here. My friend, in the coming weeks, you're going to get content on both Cavalla and drums, so be on the lookout for that. So, and here we are. We're passing the Naval Museum right here. And let's see. You get a nice view of Stewart from the water, and you can see Cavalla behind the trees here. Now, at that point, I get off land, and I'm making my way to the museum, past Gulf Copper Shipyard, where the Texas is at, because this road leads to a dead end, and that's Seawolf Park, where the Galveston Naval Museum is. So I actually stopped because the road was completely empty. I stopped in the middle of the road, got out the truck, and snapped this picture of the Stewart right there. And this is the first time I've seen her in this. Last time I saw the Stewart, she was painted, haze gray. Now she's got the dazzle scheme going on. So this is the first time I see her painted like this. I've got the yawns again tonight. So there's just another shot of her. And this is inside the Galveston Naval Museum. A nice shot of the Stewart, and you can see the Cavalla right here. I'm standing on the deck of the Cavalla looking towards the Stewart and digging that freaking that dazzle scheme. I think it's so amazing. There we go. I think I'm wearing the same shirt in this picture that I'm wearing right now. I'm wearing my Sullivan's t-shirt. And here's the conning tower for Cavalla. So this was an interesting thing. So I got to the museum like at, I think 2:30, and the museum. No. I got there at 3:30, and the museum closed at 5. And they're doing a guided tour inside the Cavalla, and it's a big group. And mind you, if you've ever been in one of these subs, they're extremely small. You can't just walk around people. You walk and there's a wall of people, and you're just stuck waiting. I got mostly through the ship before I ran into that wall, and I'm just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. So at that point, I'm just kind of Aaron SS 224. Actually, Aaron, she is SS 244. Cavalla is 244. But so what I did was I went all the way back to the front, got out, ran all the way to the exit at the stern, walked down, and as I'm walking down, the tour group is walking in at the same time, and I just hurried up, got some shots of the aft torpedo tubes, went up, and completed my tour of the Cavalla, and I had just enough time to go, and I had like an hour to tour the Stewart, which I think I didn't have quite enough time to stop and explore everything, but I got a good chunk of the ship toured. So everything kind of worked out, just right. Now this would be the forward torpedo tubes of Cavalla. And I forget what this piece of the flag was for. That might have been for the commissioning ceremony. I thought they had a thing that explained it. But anyway, yeah, that's the forward torpedo tubes on Cavalla. And let's see. Here we go. Oh, that's an interesting shot. So this is after I toured the Cavalla. I'm on the bow of the Stewart, and you can see all the vessels coming in and out of that channel right there from the Galveston Naval Museum. Again, I'm on the bow of the Stewart right here, and that is the Carnival Jubilee leaving Galveston. You can see her just coming out of the fog. Just a really cool shot. So I had to get that. And there were a lot of ships, cruise ships in port. There were probably like 3 or 4 of them. Mark's mentioning the fog. The whole afternoon it was like that, and even like driving on this highway towards the ferry, and on the ferry, as you saw, nothing but fog. And this is like in the afternoon. That was so strange to me. Okay. Wait, did I skip over one? No, I did not. It kind of looked like I did. But anyway, there's the Cavalla from the Stewart. And you can see, let's zoom in here. So the way you tour the Cavalla, you see they got the double set of steps here. You go all the way to the bow, and you go down this hatch right here. And that's where you start the tour of the Cavalla. And of course, you go through the length of the sub, and you come out right here. It takes about 20 minutes or so, 30 minutes if you're stopping to read everything. A lot longer if you get stuck behind a guided tour. So keep that in mind. So before we go there, so yeah, those are all the pictures that I got from there. Well, of course, you know, I've recorded videos, I've got shorts and all that for the channel, but I'm going to show you guys. Oh, goodness. Yawns tonight. I don't know why. I dig it, Aaron. Aaron says, I love Gato-class submarines. I swear. Well, again, Aaron, stay tuned. There's a lot of content coming from Stewart, Cavalla and Drum in the coming weeks. But I want to show you guys my souvenirs that I got from the Naval Museum before we move on. So, challenge coin here. You can see it, USS Stewart, DE-238. And on the reverse side, and I'm going to try and read this backwards for you, DE-238, Edsel-class destroyer, escort. Edsel-class destroyer, escort. And let's see, name for Rear Admiral Charles Stewart, commander of the USS Constitution in the War of 1812. 1942 to 47, USS Stewart. And I got the Cavalla challenge coin as well. USS Cavalla, SS-244, the Lucky Lady, which I had never heard her called that before. On the reverse side, we've got USS Cavalla, the Lucky Lady, SS-244, and SSK-244. And remember, she is in a SSK, which is a hunter-killer configuration, which is also what the Croker over at the Buffalo Naval Park is in. Bought one shirt for each ship. There's Cavalla. And there's Stewart. So those were my my souvenirs from the Galveston Naval Museum. All right, Steve, don't forget the big U is coming up. So I don't know if you're going to be able to stick around for that, but you may want to catch the replay. That's going to be real interesting. Okay. Anyway, so that was Saturday. After that, left the museum, went have lunch, then went to the hotel for the night. Sunday morning at 10 o'clock was my tour of the Texas. I call it the restoration tour. So let's go back into the photos. There we go. And let's see, USS Texas BB-35 restoration tour. This is from on side of the road. Gulf Copper Shipyard. And you notice, I think that was the fire control tower right here is off of the ship, and they bring you to that where that's being restored before you actually start your tour of the ship. So, and the good thing is, it was a good time to go because they said in a few weeks they're going to be done, and they're going to put that forward control tower back on the ship. So I'm one of the lucky people that actually got to see it, up close and personal, mere feet away, instead of up like that. So anyway, after you do the fire control tower, then they bring you to the ship, and there she is, BB-35, Old Tex, right there. She's looking very, very nice. There's still a lot of work to see, and you don't see that when you're looking at the pictures from their Facebook page and all that. But because like on the interior, she's still looking a bit rough, but externally, you can see she's looking pretty good. Those are the forward guns right there. And this would be this is where you enter, where you start the tour on the port side, on the stern, and they work you forward, and then you go around to the starboard side, work your way aft, and once you basically make the loop, that ends the tour. The cool thing is the tour was only supposed to be about an hour and a half long, and it ended up being 2 hours. But anyway, this is port side stern looking forward. You can see right here, this would be the aft fire control tower. And if we zoom in here, that was one of the cranes to pick up the plane out of the water. You can see clearly port side. So there's the aft fire control tower. Looks like it's mostly restored. Be cool if you could go up there when they resume regular tours again, but I have a feeling that's not going to happen. Next is, of course, the bridge is one of these decks. It's kind of hard to tell which one it is from there. And let's see. Yeah, I couldn't get a good selfie of me to save my life. I got one where I'm actually looking at the camera. I should have picked that one instead of this one, but I got more of the ship in this one instead of my ugly face. So that's why I chose this one. And you can see they're walking around. We stopped right here to get group photos and stuff. And then they're walking around to the starboard side to continue the tour. Oh, and there's one of the ships, one of the Carnival ships. No, that's not Carnival. Let's see. Regal Princess. Princess Cruises, Regal Princess. Took a picture of that from the bow of BB-35. Okay. Oh, hang on. Not ready for that just yet. So those are some of the photos. I got a whole lot more, but I just picked the ones that I thought would be the most interesting for this. Didn't get a whole lot of souvenirs from this trip to the Texas, but I got a couple. Got a challenge coin. You can see USS Texas, the Mighty T, 1914 to 1948. And on the other side, USS Texas, 1914 to 1948. Matt, you made it. What's happening? I just got through going over day one of my road trip, which included the Galveston Ferry and the Galveston Naval Museum. I'm on Sunday right now. I'm just finishing up telling everyone about the tour of the USS Texas. So I did get one other souvenir from the Texas, and this would be it. an actual piece of the Texas deck. And it even says on the back, if I can aim it right, there we go. Deck wood reclaimed from Battleship Texas BB-35. So, so guys, I now have an actual piece of the Alabama, which is always on the shelf right there, as you can see. And now I've got an actual piece of BB-35. And I'll just put that right there for now. Let's see. Matt asks, is it teak wood like BB-60? It is not. That was one of the things they made a point to mention on the tour. Is it was pine. Yeah, Aaron, nice BB-35, yes sir. So, and by the way, guys, they are collecting pieces of Kidd in dry dock, and they are going to go on sale. Obviously, I'm going to be buying whatever I can from Kidd. Let's see. Mr. Golden, holy goodness. It's been a while since we've seen you, my friend. How you been? Welcome to the stream. American Loyalist is here. What's up, my friend? I know what you're here for. We haven't gotten to the big U yet, but rest assured it's coming. Yeah, it is pine. Now, I am fairly certain that is not original decking right there. I want to say that is wood from the last time they got the deck replaced on the ship, which I think was 1990. I'm almost positive. So after my tour for Texas finished up around 12 o'clock, from that point, it was lunchtime around that point. So where did I go for lunch? I don't even remember. Oh, yeah, I ate lunch at the next museum. So what I decided to do after my tour for Texas finished, I went to a different type of museum, one that I don't usually cover here on the channel, but it's a museum I went to before, and I wanted to go to it again. So that's what you're going to see here. Let me bring it back up. This is at the Houston Museum of Natural Science. And that is a very interesting museum, guys. It's a very, very nice museum. It's right there in downtown Houston, blocks away from all the skyscrapers, that you see in the Houston skyline. Driving the interstate is always fun in Houston, by the way. But this was like in the alchemy section. There's an exhibit on, there's so many different types of exhibits at this museum. And you will be seeing a video on this museum in the coming weeks. I did record footage for a video. Mark, yes, that is a still, Mark. But to give you some examples, and as we go throughout, again, this was an alchemy exhibit. There's exhibits on anatomy, the human brain. Then there is a huge paleontology exhibit. And yours truly is a massive dinosaur fan, too. So there's a lot of different exhibits. There's actually 3 different floors of exhibits. And this is the paleontology place. I do not know if these are real or replicas, but they still look really cool all the same. And you see there's multiple ones in there. Matt, I do not know if they are real. But, I mean, even if they're replicas, they look pretty sweet. That, of course, is Sexy Rexy, the T-Rex. That is a megalodon jaw or jaws. This is on the second floor, and we're looking at like an African safari type exhibit. There are other exhibits as well about the wildlife in Texas. I mean, of course, with the museum being in Houston. Um, there's an Egyptian type exhibit. Now, they have permanent exhibits here and they have temporary exhibits. Now, the thing to bear in mind with this museum, if you're ever out in that area, there's a flat fee of $30 to parking and a flat fee of $25 to see the permanent exhibits. So you're $55 in right off the bat. Any of the non-permanent exhibits, you have to pay extra for each one. There was one I really wanted to see. It was called Death by Natural Causes, and it was basically how different ways you to die from wildlife. Pit vipers, constrictors, lions, whatever. Different types of venomous insects and bugs. This is from the Egyptian exhibit. I do not know if that is a real mummy or not. They sure do make a good job of looking like it's real. Yeah, Matt, I know you were in Houston last year, or you drove through Houston last year. You got to check out this place next time you go. Oh, we're not ready to go there just yet. I know that's what everyone's waiting on. So, yeah, that is essentially everything you get from there. The only souvenir I bought from this place was my customary magnet that I always get from either a state or a tourist attraction, whatever. So, yeah, again, be on the lookout for a video in the coming weeks on this museum as well. Ozzy, did you go to the potato room? They didn't have a potato room, Ozzy, but maybe the SS United States has one. Maybe we'll find out. So anyway, let me pull up something else here real quick before we do that. Nope, wrong thing. Killed my cam for a second. All right. Anyway, I'm having a lot of computer problems, guys. Pulling back the curtain a little bit to the point where I've got to make some serious modifications. In fact, I even considered canceling the live stream tonight because when I first booted up the computer, it wouldn't even let me run my dual monitors, which I absolutely have to have in order to run the stream. So, yeah, I'll be working on this computer a lot this weekend. So sorry for the little technical difficulty there. I know you guys are chomping at the bit to get to the big U. So let's see. And this is how we're going to start off talking about the SS United States. So you've Badgie or the board in the computer. I got a gremlin in my computer. That's what's in my computer. So Mobile Bay. One of the questions I've gotten a lot about my visit. Well, and actually, before I even get into that, to conclude how the rest of the trip went, once I finished that museum in Houston, drove back to the hotel, and mind you, this is Sunday evening. Spent stayed the night, watched movies on my tablet in the hotel room. Woke up Monday morning, drove back home, and Monday evening, I'm checking the weather for Mobile in Tuesday, and it was basically the stars aligned. Beautiful sunny day, about 70, 75 degrees. And the max that the wind speeds we're going to get was about 8 miles an hour. My drone, and Matt can probably confirm this because he's got the same type of drone that I do. The drone is rated for a max of, it can handle up to 11 miles an hour, if I remember correctly. So, like I said, the stars just lined up perfectly. I was like, you know what? Now is the time to do this because I wasn't going to go originally, but I was like, you know what? I can't pass up the opportunity. This is it. So Tuesday morning, loaded up all my my cameras and the drone, everything, went off to Mobile. Ozzy, there she is, not so wounded as we were led to believe. So much the better. Anyway, Mobile Bay. Here we are. Because one of the things that people have been asking me about is where exactly did I go to see the ship? And that's what I'm going to show you guys right now. So down here, here's Mobile. You want to go into the Matt Air 2S is rated for 10 miles an hour. So I was close enough. H Forgotten, welcome. I'm about to show you guys where I went to see the Big U. So here's the Mobile River. And it's, see, there's I-10. Before you get to I-10, you exit because she is essentially right about here. So let me pull up the, I'm going to show you guys what street. It's Charleston Street is where I went. So fine, you see Charleston Street right here. So let's go to the street view. And there, this is where I was. Now, this area looks a little different now, but this street is a dead end. And there's a business right here. And then there's a driveway further down for a business right there. Don't block the people's driveways and you won't have any problems. So yeah, came to the edge right here and she's right here. Let's see if you can see the fence. You see the fence right here, right on the other side of the fence. I'm sure you all seen the photos that I took and I've shared on Discord and the YouTube channel. Now, the thing to point out if you're going to go there, see the railroad tracks? That's all private property and they have no trespassing signs up. People were still doing it anyway, but, you know, be aware, you know, if you choose to do that, you know, you are trespassing. I did not go past the railroad tracks at any point. I did go on the side right here. For those of you who saw the interview I did with Rob Robinson, the guy that was on the Vinix 6, we went off right over here to the side because this was packed, guys. There was probably about 20 people or so coming by and snapping photos and, you know, engaging in conversation. So did the interview right there. And of course, got all my pictures, got video footage, sent the drone up. So I just wanted to show you guys where I actually was. Now we're going to get into the photos. Let's see. Wish I could make that default. I don't like that other one. Anyway, here we go. So yeah, look, there's the fence I was talking about, and you can see the railroad track here in the foreground. And there she is, guys. American Loyalist, did you do the paddle boat? No. I am going to be going back. I think I have the tour booked. I think it might be next. I think it's next weekend. I'm going back, and I'm actually going to do the boat tour. Stay tuned for footage on that. Ozzy, are you sure you don't use the cloaking device? Nope, not this time, Ozzy. But yeah, there she is, guys. And how Matt, how was the ferry ride in Texas? The ferry was actually pretty cool, physically, and quite literally, and it was enjoyable. Put it that way. It does not take long at all to get from one end to the other. But so everybody, guys, here's the thought. Here's the part that was really cool to me. So about 5-10 minutes after the most after I got there, I'm sitting there. I've got the phone. I'm taking pictures, and you can't wipe the smile off my face. I'm just soaking it in. What I'm seeing it for the very first time with my own eyes, not a picture. But anyway, 5-10 minutes or so after I'm there, the cops pull up. I see the cop car, and I'm like, man, I drove all this way to see the SS United States. I see her for 5-10 minutes, and here come the cops to tell us, kick us all out. We got to leave, blah, blah, blah. And so completely the opposite of what happened, actually. They did not kick us out or anything. They didn't, fuss anybody or anything. Actually, the cops were there to take pictures of the ship as well. And there was a big group of us, and like the cops sat there and mingled with the crowd too. And as you can see, I got my model. I brought the model with me because I had to. I mean, come on, that model right there. So the cops are sitting there mingling with us, and after they go, is Rob Robinson showed up after the cops left, and we did the interview, and people are coming and going, and I was talking a lot about the ship, to different people, and it was so cool because people were actually, some people were picking up on the fact that, I know a little bit about this ship. So people were starting to ask me questions about the ship, and it was the coolest experience to just be able to talk to people and tell them, the things that I know about the ship, and pique their interest about the ship, and hopefully make people appreciate, the Big U that much more. So that was a really cool experience as well. And let's see what's next. Probably one of my favorite pictures. I got a better one with that guy, but not in the picture. But look, you see what I was talking about? They have the no trespassing signs. But I mean, people were going on the tracks anyway. So, you do you. I didn't want to, Matt, you did a good job with that model. Well, thank you very much. But I had to do this, guys. I had to go and see the real ship and get a picture of me with my model with the Big U behind me. That was the coolest thing. And let's see, what is next? Oh, yeah, that was a little better. And look over here, again, the no trespassing sign. American was very aside. Also, how different in person? I guess you're asking me. Ferry ride. The ferry Matt's asking me about is what I talked about in the beginning of the stream when I rode the Galveston ferry. Loyalist. That's what Matt's asking me about. Was it different in person than what I expected? Not really. And first time you see an ocean liner in person. Yes, the Big U is the first ocean liner I ever see in person. Because think about it, there's only 3 in the world that are above water. The Big U, the Queen Mary, and the Queen Mary too. And I've never seen either one of the queens in person. So yes, the Big U is the first ocean liner that I ever see in person. And the experience was everything I hoped it would be. Even though we couldn't get any closer than that, I mean, she's still a very big ship. So still to be able to finally see her in person, I mean, I probably stayed there just taking it in for at least an hour. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Max. Sorry, Max. Queen Elizabeth II is also an ocean liner still above water. But isn't she in like where is the Queen Elizabeth II? It's not in the United States. But yeah, Loyalist, I just sat there and I took it in. I interacted with as many different people as I could. That's how I ended up meeting Rob, because Rob was actually not there when I was there. He probably showed up 20, 30 minutes after I was already there. And I think he was actually getting one last look at her himself before he head back home to Starkville. That's where he lives. So the experience is something I wouldn't trade for anything, even though obviously I couldn't go on the ship. Mac, Queen Elizabeth II is in Dubai. Yeah. So there's no, I'll tell you straight up, there's no chance of me ever going to Dubai. So I'm never going to see the Queen Elizabeth II in person. Much higher chance of me seeing the Queen Mary in person than the Queen Elizabeth II. Aaron says, amazing interview with him. A down-to-earth guy, Aaron. I mean, he's the kind of guy, you know, you walk into the local bar and you happen to sit next to him and you could just, he's that kind of guy you could just have a few beers with. I don't know if he drinks, but I'm just making the example. You could, you know, somebody you could just randomly walk into a bar, sit down, have a drink, and you just, you know, hey, you know, how you doing? You know, how's your day? You know, sit there and have a few beers with him. Just that kind of guy. Very straightforward, down to earth guy. It was great to be able to meet him and to talk with him. Let's see what's next. Oh yeah, of course you got to get the selfie. What's next? And there we are. Right there. That's the thumbnail for the interview. I'm sure you guys have seen that picture. And Rob also has a nonprofit, by the way, guys. If you want to check that out, it's foreveroutdoors.org. I will type it in the chat for you guys. foreveroutdoors.org. So there you go. Put that in the chat for you guys, should you be interested. And let's see. So here's a question for chat. Do any of you plan on going see the ship while she's in Mobile? Let's see. Nope. I want to get to that question before we move on, because we still have more ships to see. Do any of you plan on going to Mobile and see the ship before, you know, they take her away, is what I would like to know. Because I can tell you guys, I am going to be there multiple times before she leaves. Aaron, yes, but can we all meet up? That would be pretty cool, Aaron. It would probably be a bit of a chore to get that many people coordinated to meet up at the same time, but you know, it could be worth a shot. Max says, I might be able to go see her the 29th. Well, Max, I certainly hope you get that opportunity to go see her. I will not be able to make it there on the 29th because I already have plans that day. I'm going to see a Titanic exhibit in New Orleans that day. So I won't be able to do it that day. Matt says sooner or later. I highly advise you guys if you, well, I mean, hey guys, you guys, you don't need me to be there. If you guys want to go do a meetup, uh, you guys go. I mean, you don't need me there. I mean, it'd be great for me to be able to go and meet you guys, but that day is just not possible for me. Fair Star, welcome. So, so as I was explaining, I sat there for for about an hour or so at the ship, just taking it in, enjoying the moment. But at some point, I get hungry and I need to move on because there are still yet more ships to see before all of this trip stuff was over for me. So, what do I do when I leave here? Get back on I-10, go a little like a mile or so down the interstate on I-10, and what is there? Of course, BB-60. USS Alabama Battleship Memorial Park, guys, is like a little over a mile away from where the Big U is. So if you guys can go, Aaron and Max, if you guys are able to meet up that day, I would highly suggest going to Battleship Memorial Park because you can see the USS Alabama. You can see the USS Drum, Aaron, and in the same day, the Big U, SS United States. They're a mile away from each other, guys. It's too good of an opportunity to pass up. You got to do it, and you won't regret it. Believe me, you will love visiting BB-60. How about that, Aaron? There you go. There's the Drum. Got these cool, there's a little aircraft display. Yep, so there you go. USS Drum. You get to see 3 historic vessels all within a mile from each other. And actually, and on this particular trip, I did go, as you can see, to the Alabama, but I did not do the tour this time because I was just there a month ago. But they have like a little restaurant over there. It's called Stevie's, and they serve like hot dogs, pizza, burgers, stuff like that. So actually, I went there and had lunch. I left there, went to a boat launch across the street to launch the drone because I don't fly it on the museum's property, or don't launch from the museum's property because it is private property. So launched the drone, got some drone footage for the video that I hope you guys watched today. By the way, it's getting a bunch of good views. Mark says, I've been to USS Intrepid. Mark, you got any pictures of that? I would love to see them. I've not been to the Intrepid. Yeah, here's there's actually a fence right here, and I've got the phone over the fence to take this picture. And this is behind, so I'm sitting in a covered area. You can see the umbrellas right here, and I'm just sitting right there. It was a perfect day, guys. It was truly a perfect day, for seeing the ships and just enjoying, enjoying a day outdoors, because I'm eating lunch here. I'm sitting there and this is the view. This is my view while I'm having lunch, guys. The Mighty A. Let's see. Let me catch up with comments here. Fair Star has also been to the Intrepid. Nice. Oh, Mark was a little kid when he'd been to the Intrepid. Fair Star saw the Big U when she was in Philly. Been to New Jersey. I would love to go to New Jersey. Look at this guy. Tim, what's up? I know that bucket. I have a feeling you've seen this ship in person before. So, yeah, guys, that was the day for me on Tuesday. Tim, how are you doing, my friend? How was your week? I know you were real busy the other day. By the way, guys, well, I'm gonna save that because we do have a little thing about Kidd coming up. We're gonna close out the stream this week, probably with that. Let me see if I have any more pictures of BB60 here before we move on. Nope, there we are. Perfect timing. Perfect timing, guys. So drove back home Tuesday, and I was like, you know what? Here's the thing. I've seen all of these ships from Saturday to Tuesday. I saw Stewart, Cavalla, Texas, SS United States, Drum, Alabama. I rode the Galveston Ferry, saw 3 or 4 different cruise ships at Galveston. Something was missing. Like, you know what? I'm going to see all these historic ships. I got to cap it off with my beloved here. DD661 made the trip. And this is across the street. You know, I mean, obviously, shipyard, private property. You can't go into the shipyard. But I've got a nice big 400 millimeter zoom lens for my camera. Got there. Didn't even get out of my vehicle. Just rolled down the window like click, click, click. Got him. Tim says bouncing a bit. Next time at Bama, eat down street at Blue Gills. I'm gonna write that one down. There is a restaurant down there, Tim, downtown Mobile, like the old historic part. I'm gonna have to look it up and text you the name of this place. They had it was like a Mexican place, and they had some of the best street tacos I've ever had. In fact, I remember it was Caribbean jerk tacos. Oh, they were so good. But anyway, guys, I know I ate before stream. I'm gonna make myself hungry again. But anyway, we've got DD661 right here. And by the way, congratulations, Tim. USS Kidd's YouTube channel reached 11,000 subscribers today. So if anybody here is not subscribed yet to the Kidd's channel, why not? Go subscribe. So yeah, I had to come and take a look at DD661. You can see here she is in dry dock. They're going into the Dazzle scheme here. You can see there's the bridge. Here's the first funnel. And let's see. It looks like the bow is still, I know it's not haze gray, but it looks like it's still all gray. Tim, has there been any progress on the hull yet since you're in here? Look, they even painted part of the mast. Yes, Fairstar. I also was at USS Texas when I was in Galveston. I did the restoration tour. I've got a few photos here in the live stream. So if you want, go back and watch the replay, and you will see some of those pictures. Let's see. Zinc coating on the hull, or zinc coating hull comes later. Gotcha. You know what? And while you're here, Tim, if you can answer another question for me. I have been meaning to ask you guys for the longest time. Let me zoom in here. See these 2 antennas on the aft funnel? What were those for? I've always wanted to ask, and I just never think about it. But since I'm looking at the photo right here, what were those for? Let's go on to another picture. No, I did not do that on the Texas Aussie. So here's a little more zoomed out view. Ah, okay. So those antennas were part of the ECM package, and I know that this was the ECM mast right here. Oh, it looks like they got some of the Dazzle paint on the turret right here too. I didn't notice that before. So yeah, I'm guessing all the superstructure is going to be done first, and then they're going to go and do the hull, since you said the hull comes later. Okay. Aaron, vertical antennas for communication. All right, let's see what we have next. Okay, just another close-up shot of the bridge. So yeah, just to give you guys an example of how good that zoom lens I have is, if they had the door open right here, we could see straight inside the bridge. That would be pretty cool. And that might be the last one. Let's see. One more. Well, they're all essentially the same, because this is the only angle you can get, from outside of the shipyard. But still, stalker. Hey, you can go stand there and we'll take a shot of you. Open the door, do a wave. But that might be the last one. Let's see. No, good close-up shot of the bow again. So yeah, guys, it looks like she's coming along really, really nice. And we can talk about this. If anybody watched History X the other night, Shane from Buffalo Naval Park was on there, and he mentioned that he and Ken from History X are coming down to Louisiana. They're going to be meeting up with Tim and go and check out the Kidd, which makes perfect sense because Shane's got his own Fletcher class destroyer that's going into dry dock later this year. I'm sure we'll be talking about that a lot when they finally go, and because Sullivan's and Croker are both going. So I imagine there's going to be a whole bunch of videos they're going to be recording for both for Kidd and for the Buffalo Naval Park for History X as well. So yeah, guys, after that, after I went and looked at Kidd, I was pooped. Because you think about it. I went from Louisiana to Galveston to Houston, back to Galveston, back to Louisiana, to Mobile, back to Louisiana, all in the course of just 4 or 5 days. So I took one day where I just did not do anything. I sat on my behind and I did absolutely nothing. And now I'm getting back into the normal routine. But that is everything I've got for you guys this week. Remember, Kidd and Buffalo Naval Park both have videos that came out this evening. So after I'm done here, I'm going to watch both of those. So if you guys haven't seen those, make sure you go watch those 2 videos as well. And of course, since Tim is here with us tonight, there we go. That's where you guys can go watch the video for the Kidd. And of course, after, make sure you go watch the video from the Buffalo Naval Park. And that's where they're at on YouTube. So that's it, guys. Dennis here, going to jet. Good night and great weekend. No problem, Tim. Thanks for dropping in for a minute. I appreciate that. And I'm sure I'll be hearing from you again pretty soon. So that's it, guys. Content schedule is, as always, every Friday evening, weekly 1-hour live stream, 7:00 p.m. Every Friday morning, weekly 1 hour, or no, weekly. Every Friday morning, 7 a.m. is the video of the week. And on Monday through Friday, every day, 11 a.m. is the random video short. And that's it, guys. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with me. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to break this when I do the editing on this stream. I'm going to break this down into chapters. So if you want to go back and watch just the part about the big U, you can do that, or just the part about Kidd, you can do that, so forth and so on. So that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate you as always. And until next time, you guys know the drill. Drive safely.